everybody. I figured I would take a few minutes today, since it's cold and nasty out, to run a little bit through on how I do electrolysis if you're needing to clean up iron artifacts that you've found out detecting or whatever. So I've got my tub of iron there that I'm trying to get cleaned up and preserved. You can see what it looks like at the beginning, not real pretty, versus the end result when I get done with it. You can see it's nice and dark, sealed and preserved to last a long time. And I've done stuff as big as that, all the way down to, you know, utensils and locks, all kinds of horseshoes, all this stuff down here, all treated, all preserved. The way I do it is pretty simple. It's pretty cheap. It's not going to break the bank on you. I went down to AutoZone. Of course, the main thing you're going to need is a manual battery charger. An automatic battery charger will not work, because when you're creating a short in the circuit by hooking it up, it's going to shut off. I got that one for about, I think, $35, which is not bad at all. Let me unplug it here real quick. So my simple setup here is just a bucket, and what I did was I took and drilled 2 holes in 4 spots. I cut 4 pieces of rebar that I actually put down in there. Then I drilled holes in the top of them to where I could take my steel wire and put it in there, and then put the screw in there to tighten it to make sure it had a really good connection. So once I did that, these two lashed together, these two lashed together with a little piece of wire running to here to tie it together. So that gets my rods taken care of. And then I took and just simply got a clip and some wire, and I used the piece of wood to place my item right in the center where I want it. And I found, in my opinion, this right here is just Arm & Hammer super washing soda. Sprinkle some of that in there with your water, just makes it better conductivity. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your positive and you're going to hook it to there, to your sacrificial metal. You're going to take your negative, clip it to your item, and then that's it. Put it in there, make sure you're clear, plug it in. You can see it going there. And if you watch this water, you will start to see it moving, and you see all those little bubbles starting to come up. You can see all those little bubbles starting to pop up in the water, and that water starting to swirl. That's telling you that it's working. That is cleaning and stabilizing that metal. Now, do you need to run absolutely everything through electrolysis? No. Some things are going to be in shape that it's probably going to do more damage than good. You know, like I had a couple square nails from a dig I did down south, and they were in pretty rough shape. And if I'd have tried to do electrolysis to clean them up, they would have just crumbled and fell apart to nothing. So it would have been pointless. At that point, you're best just to take like a wire brush like this. You know, I use that. Little tougher spots to get to, I use this little chisel, clean them up, get all the big loose stuff broke off there, and then put your treatment on there, which we'll get into here in a second. Like some of this stuff over here has had one coating. I will do a second coating on it, but you can see there's a couple little spots inside of it that are still a little rusty. I got to hit better. This stuff right here I just pulled out of electrolysis. I've got this little rig that I made with some steel wire and some little gator clips. If I'm doing small items such as those, I'll run 4 at a time. Now, depending on the size of the item, like right now, since I've got a big piece in there, I'm running 12 volts 6 amps. Normally if it's small stuff, I'll run the 6 volt 6 amp. Just depends on the amount of power you want to put into it, how quick you want it to go, how tough the piece is, and how worried you are about potentially eating it up a little bit. Now, once I pull these out, you can see they're rusty, but you can see I run my finger across there, it just kind of deteriorates and comes off in your hand. Now, how long should you let this stuff run? It kind of depends on the item, depends on the condition of it, depends on how long it's been in the ground like this. You can see how all that corrosion just comes right off. I usually let things run for about at least 3 hours. Just depends. Some things I've let run longer depending on the size. Now, once you get them to that stage, after pulling them out of electrolysis, simple, I just take the wire brush, run them down real good, get them you know, lathered up nice and good with some water, scrub them, try to get all that stuff off, rinse them real good, and then let them dry. Once they're dry, that's when I move on to the stage of treating them with Gimplers. Now, I'm not sponsored by Gimplers, I have no affiliation with them, but from all the videos I've watched in the past, Mr. Stephen Phillips and everyone else, everyone recommend this. I've used multiple products out there. I have used this stuff that is Loctite Extended Rust Neutralizer. It doesn't work. I mean, it might work if you're painting a lightly rusted surface of a piece of metal, but as far as stuff that I've dug out of the ground, I have not had luck with it lasting and actually keeping a solid coating on there that prevents the rust from coming back. Because everything I've ever treated with it, I am now having to retreat now with Gimplers. This stuff, you can order it online. This is a small jug. It comes in the gallon jugs, which I'm probably going to end up ordering here soon. It's very simple to use, you know, doesn't have any harsh fumes. I wear some rubber gloves. I've got some of it in this jar right here. You can see it's kind of a milky color, but you can see where on the outside it's turned purple. Now what ends up happening is when you brush it on, it will actually go on creamy, but then it'll start to turn purple. And when it starts to turn purple, that's it working on the rust and neutralizing it. And then after it turns purple, it will turn black. And it takes stuff from rusty nasty like that to that. You can see this still has some little spots coming through. This has to have a second coating. Same as these. These have only got one coating on them. But already, I mean, they started out looking like that right there. And you can see the difference. Gimplers by far is an amazing product in my opinion. And of course, like I said, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not, no advertisement. I'm just simply telling y'all that is the product that I have found to be the most effective for treating these relics and actually doing a good job of sealing them and preserving them. Like this rust, you can see how pitted it is. I mean, this thing was just falling apart, and now that I've treated it, it is solid and it's going to look good on the display shelf. So pretty simple, really. I mean, between the charger running $30-35, you can get those buckets for $4 or $5 at Lowe's. Some wire, some pieces of scrap rebar, some little clips. I mean, for under, I would say $60, you can have a feasible, good electrolysis running system that will, I mean, of course, it'd be nice, in my opinion, to have multiple for running through this stuff quicker, but it works good, it's simple, it's safe. I mean, as long as you don't go to sticking your hand in the water or grabbing those cables when it's running, you got nothing to worry about. I believe that's about it. I've covered everything. I hope this helps anybody out there that's curious about how to do electrolysis. I know I haven't really showed a hands-on of what this goes looking like, but let me pause this real quick and I will get some out and I'll put it on here and I'll let you see that process of it changing. Alright, so you can see I've got a little axe head there. I'm going to dip some gimpers on here. Now you should wear, if I'm doing this with both hands not recording, I do wear a rubber glove on the hand that I'm touching the iron with. But just brush it on there. Make sure you get a nice little coating. This stuff does dry kind of hard, so if you don't want your brush being hard, then rinse it out with water. This stuff cleans up with water, soap. But you can see how it goes on creamy like that. And after a few seconds to minutes, it will actually start to get a purple tinge to it as it's curing out and neutralizing that rust. Normally everything I do, I run 2 coats. You know, like I think I'm on 2 coats on this. This is 1 coat, this is 1 coat, this is 1 coat. This has been done twice, but it's got a couple little tough spots in there that I've got to go back and hit, like right there and right there on the bottom. But it's a pretty simple process. It's pretty rewarding to be able to take your bucket of rusty iron and actually turn it into nice, dark, cured out pieces of iron that are going to last hopefully longer than us. So I hope anyone that had some questions about doing this at home, I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, further questions, feel free to comment on here. I would be glad to answer any questions that I know an answer to. I would please, if you wouldn't mind, you know, giving this video a like, subscribing if you like it. You know, I would really appreciate it. It would help me out a lot. Feel free to share as well. Tell your friends about it. You know, get the word out there. If someone else is looking for this or they want to watch any of the videos of me bottle digging or metal detecting, that would be great as well. So I hope everyone has a good day, and hopefully I'll see you out there again.